All right, we're live. So we are playing McCormick's Folly, session 156 or whatever it is. So does anybody have any memories and want to attempt the recap from the last time?
I know we started off at the Handsome Mansion. There was something going on outside, or maybe in the shed or the laboratory out back. I don't really remember where it was
It
coming
was downstairs.
No, it was from the shed.
Oh,
was
there
from
was
Colmar's-
something out there.
It was from
Yeah.
Colmar's workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody
Colmar
was reintroduced to Omerta and remembered that he was a thing and joined the party.
Yes. So, Tony, do you want to quickly recap who Omerta is and briefly how Omerta came to be a part of the group?
Merita is a tiefling, but not with like big imposing horns, just with the small ones right here, and basically slick back hair, very nice suit, pinstripes, white pinstripes, black with white pinstripes. And he knocked on the door like moments after everybody found Tacitus turned to stone. Basically just saying, I'm here to help.
And McCormick's Folly being the trusting group we are, let him in with open arms.
I assume he's still on probation. Like he's a probationary member of McCormick's Folly.
I believe I have a picture of Omerta with his smallish horns.
Yes.
Tastefully understated. Ivar returned from his walkabout and explained that he was really getting clean and sober, and then noticed that Petrie was back and seemed sort of like that seemed to take him back a bit, and he was vaguely annoyed, not necessarily at Petrie, but at this situation. He then went off to his bedroom at one point, but there was some sort of catastrophic failure in the mechanism, and he's not exactly sure how that happened, but his entire mechanical bedroom broke down, trapping Colmar and somebody else, I think, was with him in the basement of the Handsome Mansion. And it was going to take several hours and or days to clear all of the rubble out of the way to get Colmar out. So we entrusted that to Charles to get that done so that we could go off and continue the adventure. We transported back to Tacitus, by the way, was petrified, and Baba, I think, returned to say that he was going to go and try to find a way to unpetrify Tacitus. But we went back and transported a lot of the treasure from the cave we had found it in back to the Handsome Mansion, and then went back to the Bieshk Mountains and found that we were sort of midway through them. So we began using our skills to travel through those, encountering a group of what seemed to be hillbilly dwarves that were just living in isolation up there, all Deliverance style, in the middle of the mountains. We eventually made our way through the mountains, and we began to be attacked by the seemingly crazy inhabitants of the Eldine Reaches, some of whom seemed to maybe be carrying some sort of disease. And were seemingly purposefully trying to infect people with it. We managed to beat them off, but Druid. But a Druid in their midst cast some spell that looked like Cloud Kill, and it seemed to then become sentient, and we were about to fight that.
I will point out that it didn't seem to become sentient or change until the druid died.
Right.
So that druid is dead, and now before you stands a smoke creature about 15 feet tall. It's quadrupedal, and it has where you assume its head would be are two orbs that seem to glow brightly. And then, so I know Martha, Ivar, and Omerta were part of that encounter. I don't remember if Petrie and Colmar were there. I think Colmar was still trapped in the basement.
I think Petrie was the one that was down there with him.
Yeah, I think so too.
No, Petrie was there. I was fighting. Yeah.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Because I remember you guys questioning me about Father Stenson, and then Petrie like having like a little fit about it.
Going down the mountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget who was in the basement with Colmar. There was
Morley.
somebody though. Morley.
Yeah.
Morley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that guy.
So just as you guys are about to square off with this smoke monster, Colmar suddenly teleports between you and the smoke monster, facing the group. But briefly, before we get there, does anybody want to briefly kind of summarize what happened last session for our one shot?
Shenanigans, running around the woods naked, hacking at a tree. Everybody died.
Naked, you say?
Well, only one person was technically running around naked, much to the chagrin of one of the others. We played as people who were living in a place called Homewood in the Eldine Reaches. I was playing a character named Dudo Millbridge, who was a masseuse who had moved from a faraway city because he had heard a rumor that there was really good massage business to be had here in the Eldine Reaches. But it turns out it's just a bunch of rustic hicks living in the woods, scratching in the dirt with sticks. But he was unaware of that until he got here. And he's not bitter about that at all.
Especially not anymore.
It was fine and dandy till all you outsiders showed up and ruined it.
Right. There was also the character Tonelius, who wanted to be a druid, but only so he could change into squirrels. And that was the one animal that would prove to him that you were a real druid.
Yeah.
And then there was Lucius, who was just the sort of curmudgeon who hated that people were moving into his town and living in his town and grew up in his town.
Yeah.
Other than that, I was very cheerful.
Right.
The old no true Scotsman.
Right. But there was a scream from a woman named Glendale Moonshadow or Mountain Shadow, and we went out to figure out why she was screaming. Her dog had apparently been attacked by something or attacked some stranger who'd come from outside and then moved to attack her, although it had all of its legs broken, so it was very unclear how it was crawling over in her direction. But it died in her arms. Dudo went over and was inspecting the corpse of the stranger, and due to a bit of a fumble, fell in and got blood on him. The blood was sort of sticky and had an odd smell to it. We sort of determined that the body was of someone named Steve Dancinghorn or Dancingborn. I don't remember which.
Dancing.
Yeah, but then it turned out that Steve Dancinghorn was there in the crowd, so this couldn't have been him, and it really was somebody from outside. I was never really sure if there was some significance to the misidentification.
I think it's because somebody rolled a 1.
But Lucius and we all carried the body back and got some of the higher ups in Homewood to come take a look at it. Lucius ordering his poor cousin Wendell around. Wendell being very meek, sort of doing whatever Lucius tells him to do. It was clear that there was some sort of disease at play that had dissolved the eyes of this body and did other horrible things to him. But we thought it might be related to someone called the Children of Winter, or the Cows, as only Dudo called them. And we decided to go and see if we could find these cows in the forest. And
we got some of that information from a Baldy Gold Striker.
Yes.
Right.
That was one of the names I wrote down.
the shifter shaman of the
Druid
village.
shaman,
Yes.
who did turn into a squirrel.
Yes.
Right. But Tonelius never saw him change into a squirrel, so he kept referring to him essentially as a poser, pretending to be a druid. So together, looking for these Children of Winter, we went to a sacred tree, and it had some of the diseased blood of either that one guy or someone else smeared onto it. When we reached there, Dudo began to transform, growing these boils on the back of his neck and hands, and decided that he hated Homewood so much that he was just compelled to start attacking the tree. So he borrowed an axe. Did Tonelius give him the axe? I forget who gave him the axe.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know where Tonelius pulled it out of.
Right. Tonelius apparently was carrying a sack.
Yeah.
But not that
Yeah,
sack. Different sack. So I used this axe to begin whacking away at the sacred tree, which felt really, really good. So I didn't want to stop. A bear came out of the woods, so I had to start chopping faster. Lucius had a rusty crossbow with him, so he basically took out. He also had a hammer. He basically took out the bear with the rusty crossbow and the hammer. The bear ran off again. I was becoming crazier and crazier attacking this tree. What happened after that?
Lucius spotted a thing on your neck, and I was like, "Oh, I got this," and I
That's right.
just chopped it off.
Yeah, Tonelius tried to lance one of the bone hard boils on the back of my neck, which sprayed him with acid.
Yeah.
Dudo then felt his eyes melt, but he could still somehow sense all of his surroundings perfectly well. And blades erupted out of the boils on the back of his hands. So he tried to murder Tonelius and then hamstrung and murdered Wendell because he realized Wendell was trying to escape. Dudo basically was then in a fight with Tonelius for the rest of the session, eventually both of them dying. Lucius, however, ran off.
Wait. Tonelius died in a very special way. Tonelius decided to try and bite Dudo, and as a result of biting Dudo, launched a spray of acid directly into his throat.
Yeah.
So,
I was channeling my inner animal.
Isn't that pretty much the end of Romeo and Juliet? They drank the poison, and then they died.
Right. Dudo killed Wendell by biting out his throat as well. And then used the blades on his arms to try to lance Tonelius in one of his sacks. I didn't pay attention to which one. But Lucius ran off and found that everybody in the village was changing into monsters, much as Dudo had. He met someone on the way and, told him to go to the sacred tree and then continued on towards the village. Realized the village was unsafe and so ran back to the sacred tree with these things following him the whole way. And he was torn apart by these things. Once the guy who we met on the road was, I think, a druid.
That was Baldy.
And Baldy.
Yeah.
And he was horrified to discover that the sacred tree was now defiled and couldn't really help them. And then they both basically were killed off there by the sacred tree.
Yeah. So happy ending all around.
Yeah.
So now you guys are in front of the smoke monster. Transitions are hard. So
you mean that was
perfect. So Kalmar has just popped up in front of you guys.
Sorry. Don't close that portal. We might have to go through it. we want to jump in the retcon portal too.
Colmar, you may want to move to one side or the other.
Where are we? What's going on?
Colmar, turn around. Turn your head a little bit.
Was this a trick?
No.
Okay, I'll turn around.
You see the giant smoke monster staring at you, and it kind of lowers its head towards you. And despite it being made of smoke, it releases some kind of growl.
Can I insight it to see if it's a friendly growl?
If you wish.
That would be a 20, not natural.
It is a terrifying, unfriendly growl that definitely means it wants to kill you.
I guess negotiating is out.
I'll cast a prestidigitation. I'll like flick my finger at it to cause a puff of wind to like go towards it. Does it have any effect?
Is it completely destroyed by prestidigitation?
That's what its weakness was.
So you see it lower its head, about to put its full attention onto Colmar. And actually, Colmar, with your insight check, you notice that despite it clearly being about to attack the rest of the group, now that you've arrived, it seems to sense something about you that makes it even angrier.
Great, I pissed it off.
And then as Marthau sends that puff of wind, you see it kind of just gently distort its face for a moment, and then it immediately launches towards Marthau and Colmar. And then that's initiative.
I'd just like to point out that technically my aura of loathing is still active because it goes for 10 minutes.
Okay. Let's let everybody else find out what that will do.
Nice.
All right. So Colmar is up first. Ivar on deck. Monster in the hole.
Okay, so this is some kind of smoke creature.
Yeah.
You get gust of wind?
No.
If we all prestidigitation at the same time,
I bet that'll do it.
it's like Captain Planet.
Yeah, we also need to do a synchronized dance or something. Do some Power Rangers stuff.
I'll just firebolt it and see what happens.
Okay.
It may go right through it.
Go ahead and roll your attack roll.
14.
Okay. It definitely goes through it. So you strike it true, but it doesn't appear to have any effect, at least not that you can see.
Okay.
Do you have a bonus action or a move action you want to use? Or action point or anything?
Movement. I'm going to back up. Back
Okay.
away from it.
All right. How far are you backing away from it? Because probably with where you teleported in, you're about 15 feet away from it. Everyone else is probably about 25 feet.
Yeah, I'll back up to the rest of the group. Fire doesn't seem to work.
Okay, so you're now with them. Okay. Ivar, you're up. Monster on deck. Omerta in the hole. Oh, you
So I'm
also
gonna-
know that Colmar. You noticed that for some. Oh, actually, no. You wouldn't notice this. Never mind.
Good.
That simplifies that. So I'm going to move laterally, just so if it has an area attack, it can't get us all. But
Okay.
I'm gonna move as far as I can, which is 40 feet. Then I'm going to swing the pack off my back and reach in and pull out that giant vessel of air.
Okay.
But that's then I'm going to have to use an action point. And then I'm going to have to try to figure out how this thing works again. So I begin flipping switches and moving valves on this thing, pointing the nozzle at the creature, but nothing happens. Some little tiny puff of steam comes out of the bottom, and I just look at it like, that's it. That's it. And that's my turn.
That costs an action
All
point.
right.
Omerta just says, "Don't worry, little man. It happens to the best of us."
Oh crap! I had advantage on that roll. Damn it.
Oh, because you're okay. You can roll it again if you
Yeah,
can do
it's
it.
not like it's gonna matter, right?
Did you want to actually have my spell effect?
Oh,
By the way?
it is going to affect everybody that can see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
am I behind?
Oh,
him?
right now
They just see me?
you're mostly in right next to everybody. So yeah. You're in
Okay.
everybody's peripheral.
All right. Yeah. So, like, technically,
Well, don't let them know. Well, they'll find out.
well, I mean, he would have just found out because he made an attack roll.
Well, no, because he was in front of you, so he
Well,
wanted
okay.
his
That's
back
what I
was
was.
to you.
That's what I was saying. All right.
Yeah. So, Colmar, did you roll again?
Yeah, I was lower.
Okay. All right. So as that happens, the monster, two of the orbs seem to split, and each one kind of begins moving independently, one towards Colmar and one towards Marthau. And you can feel the smoke begin to envelop around you and begin to fill your lungs. So both of you give me Constitution saving throws.
Hmm. 16.
Okay. It's action point time.
Oh, yeah.
Much better. 20
Okay.
total.
So you guys are able to fight. You begin coughing and gagging, but it's not going to impact your coughing and gagging isn't going to necessarily impact your future actions. But both of you do take 4 damage to your vitality points.
All right.
And the way that this thing seems to be is that the two orbs like kind of had stretchy necks that left trails of smoke leading to the main body, and now there's just this area around Kolmar and Marthau's heads that are like a whirlwind of this greenish gas, and the rest of the body is only slowly moving forward towards the rest of the group. All right, Omerta, you're up. Petrie on deck, Marthau in the hole.
All right. What's these orb things again?
They're some aspect of the monster. They're little balls of light.
Okay.
If you want to make,
are there any others inside of it as well then?
just the two that were initially seeming like eyes where you would expect a head to be, but now that they've split off, who knows what they really are.
Okay. You said something about like a roll or whatever?
What's that?
You said I can make a roll of some sort?
If you want to make an investigation check to see if you can tell any more, you're welcome to do that.
What about an arcana?
Yeah, that'll work.
Much better. Well, it doesn't matter how much better it is if I roll a 1.
No, it's not.
Alrighty. So what I'm gonna do, no matter what, I don't like the looks of them. I'm gonna cast Magic Missile. I'm gonna split 1 to each of the orbs and 1 to the thing, the big one. So that's force damage. To the first orb, 3 damage. To the second,
So
5.
As you so you're gonna get a little bit of a strange ping as you're about to cast that spell, and what you can tell, because normally the magic of the spell, Magic Missile, you need to be able to target individual targets and creatures. With this, though, just before you get the spell off, you realize that the target that you're trying to direct the missiles to is kind of also Marthau and Kolmar right now. And the magic is hard, is having difficulty distinguishing between the two targets there.
Well, this is some strange sort of fuckery right here.
So as you get that ping, one of the things that you notice, because that now you take a closer look at Marthau and Kolmar, and you notice that you no longer see the orbs. So maybe they're actually inside Kolmar and Marthau right now.
Okay. Well, that doesn't change the fuckery. Let me
What is there still a smoke monster, or it broke off into these two orbs and there's nothing else left to
No,
target?
there is still a smoke monster. Like, it's a large kind of body. It's still vaguely quadrupedal and just kind of floating towards you, just at a slower rate than these two orbs that left to target Marthau and Colmar directly, leaving a smoke trail to connect. So it's like two long necks from this creature.
Yeah. I'm not sure if there's much I could do here. I mean, seeing the magic just sort of float through the thing. I mean, is the spell still spent? Do I have to throw it?
No, your spell is not spent. You were, because I didn't want you to feel like you wasted your thing. You were able to stop the magic just in time to not expend the spell energy. But I wanted to kind of point that out to you, and so that you could potentially change your tactic. As I'm kind of describing this, I really encourage everybody else to start thinking about how they want to proceed on their turns. I mean, how do you adequately fight something made of smoke and air?
So I guess what I'll do then is I'll just sort of back up a little bit and observe.
Okay. How far back?
Behind everybody?
Just behind everybody? Like just 5 feet behind everybody?
Yeah, just kind of back up. I'll make sure fucking nobody's in the woods, but yeah, so that they can focus on this thing while I just watch to try and figure out a plan.
Okay. All right. Petrie up, Martha on deck, Colmar in the hole.
Petrie would take a deep breath and be like, and just he'd do a rage. He'd use a rage thing because I know how to play a barbarian now, and and then I would like look at these like smoke stems, and I would go to attack one of them.
Okay.
And I got a nat 20. I'm not sure if that's going to hit because I'm probably just swinging at air.
Well, go ahead, because you have 2 attacks, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But also confirm the crit.
Okay, so I got a 13 on the second one. Do I add anything to that? No.
Yeah, you add your normal attack bonus.
Oh, then 19.
Okay. So this is going to be interesting. And then your second attack?
I was gonna see what would happen after the first one because maybe I'd attack another stem, if this one sort of dissipated a little.
All right. And you're a zealot barbarian, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So roll a D100.
Okay. D100. 94. Wow, high rolls. This is great.
Okay. All right. So here's what happens with your first attack. As you go and enter your rage. First of all, what does it look like when you enter your rage?
I think it would more look like a Zen moment in this instance. Like I'd just be like just deep breath and then just like over my eyes and like, all right, I got to get shit done.
Okay.
Not like my normal cowardly kind of like, oh shit, got to run away.
All right. Which everybody notices is a strange turn for Petrie.
I don't notice this.
No, you wouldn't notice this. So as you let me just pull up your guy real quick. So you you raise your sword and swing it through one of the necks of the creatures, and as your sword makes contact with the smoke, your sword blazes in a silver flame, and it seems to actually burn away some of the smoke and causing it to vanish, and actually severs the connection of one of the necks to the main body, and probably about half of the body of the smoke monster kind of loses some of its shape. It becomes a little bit more indistinct, and the light within Colmar and the smoke around him begins to swirl violently. So that's what happens with your first attack.
So it's swirling around Colma now, or like violently? Yeah, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's definitely had some kind of impact.
Is the tether still there?
No, so the neck is kind of dissipating. The main part of it is drawn towards, the half of it that's split away that's closer to Colmar is now being drawn more directly towards Colmar and adding to the furious swirling around Colmar's head. But the other end just kind of is hanging there in the air, losing some of its definition along with half of the rest of the body of the smoke creature.
And the tether which is on Marthau, is that still the same, just like a single line kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like a neck of smoke.
Yeah, okay. I'd run over to that and give that a swing as well. I'd be like,
All
sorry,
right.
Colma, and then I'd go over there.
Okay.
And so that's 15.
Okay. That time you swing through the neck and your sword seems to pass harmlessly through. Also, are you using your reckless attack?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay. Are you doing that purposely?
Yeah,
Okay. Just making sure.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what this thing's got yet, so I don't really want to give it advantage to hit me.
Fair. All right. So you guys all notice this sort of change in events. Martha, or unless Petrie, do you have anything else you were going to do?
No, that's it. I'm out of actions.
Okay. So Martha is up, Colmar and Deck, Ivar in the hole.
As this smoke creature is becoming intimate with my face, I'd like to make like an Arcana check to see if I know anything more or if I recognize this.
Okay. Because it's right in your face and everything that's happening, you can try it, but it's going to be at disadvantage.
I mean, when I feel something, like recognize like a sense of magic, or if it's in my face.
Well, I mean, you don't have detect magic on or anything, right?
No, but
and I don't think Martha has ever had personal experience with a magical smoke creature attacking his lungs.
There's been some nights.
Just because of the stress of the situation and because you are having trouble breathing, it's going to be a disadvantage. You can still do the attempt, but...
I'm going to shoot a.
What was your check?
15.
Okay. you definitely know that whatever this began as, it began as a cloud kill, but it's no longer just that. There's something else that is enhancing this magic and giving it some semblance of consciousness.
Okay. So I'd like to cast Detect Thoughts to see if I can learn what this creature is thinking.
Okay.
So that's a your creature has an intelligence lower than 3. It's unaffected.
All right, so you can probe surface thoughts, but if you want to probe deeper, it gets a wisdom save.
Yeah, so I was going to learn the surface thoughts and then see if I could probe deeper.
The surface thoughts seem to be, just in general, it's a bit more intelligent than you would have expected. It's not just like an animal intelligence. The surface thoughts are not just like base emotions or acting out of instinct. You're actually hearing words like kill the necromancer, and must cleanse the world.
Okay. So I'm going to try to probe deeper then.
Okay.
So you got a DC 17.
All right. It fails.
If it fails, I get insight into its reasoning, if any, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind.
Okay. I am going to send you an email with that information. And then, are you doing anything else on your turn?
Yes. I'm going to cast Hex on this creature. And well, it hasn't really used any spells except making me cough.
So, okay, you can cast Hex on it. And then, so let me write this out. So, anything else that you're doing?
Oh, I'm gonna Hex.
Wait, you can't cast Hex. You can't cast 2 spells. If you use a bonus action, it's got to be a cantrip.
That's right. Never mind. So I will use my bonus action then to do Mantle of Inspiration. So I grant a very handsome appearance, and everybody is in awe, and they get 5 temporary hit points.
Okay.
Does that mean he has to look at me?
No, you just have to see me.
Okay. I'm okay with this. You just hear from behind you. Stunning.
Blue steel.
When are you gonna pull out Magnum for?
He says stunning, and he's only looking at you from behind.
Yeah.
He must work out.
So now it is Colmar, Ivar on deck, and then the monster.
All right. I'm gonna move away. See if does the smoke follow me as I tried to move away from the creature?
Yeah, it's. Oh, wait a minute. Martha, Constitution saving throw.
Oh no. It's 14.
Okay. So you take 5 vitality damage, and until the end of your next turn, you're coughing and gagging, which prevents you from using your action. You can still use your move action, but you can't use bonus action or action.
Ugh.
But you can still look stunning.
I cough stunningly.
Somehow you still look good coughing. That's strange.
You said there was 5 temporary hit points, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, or is that it?
That's it.
Okay. Just confirming.
And for you, Colmar, the swirling it does move with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to cast Phantasmal Killer on it. Needs to make a Wiz save, I think. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Killed it and Mike.
Oh, okay.
no.
Okay.
There we
God
go.
damn it. I was like, shit, did I freeze?
You did.
I fucking froze. Oh! All right. All right. Phantasmal Killer. Okay. I rolled a 16 without modifiers.
Crapitola. Okay. All right. Okay, that's my turn.
All right, make a Constitution saving throw.
Let's see. 14.
All right, you begin coughing and gagging harder. So until the end of your next turn, you can't take actions or bonus actions, and you take 10 vitality damage.
Okay.
Fuck. Dude.
All right.
All right, Ivar is up. Monster is on deck. Omerta in the hole.
So first I kick this air cylinder and say, does anyone know how to use this fucking thing? Then I unsling my bow and pull 2 arrows out and fuse them with Kai energy and then shoot them at I guess I'll shoot one at like the neck that's connecting Colmar to the creature and then one at the body of smoke itself. So first the Colmar one. That was 16.
Okay, that hits. What does the Kai energy do?
It basically makes it a magic arrow.
Okay.
And that is That's 12 points of piercing damage.
Okay. So you notice that the arrow, as it pierces the neck, it seems to have some slight impact on the creature, and you see the smoke kind of shudder, but and a clear hole through the neck, but then it quickly collapses back into shape.
Okay, well, all I got is arrows. It's a 23 to hit the main body.
Yeah.
And 16 piercing damage.
Okay. Same effect. Seems to have a slight subtle effect on the body, leaving a hole that pierces through it. It quivers a little bit, but then it coalesces back, snaps back pretty quickly. At least the half that seems to be still connected to the neck. The other half seems to be becoming more and more ambiguous, like regular smoke. You would expect how you would expect regular smoke to behave.
Then I'm going to continue to move like around the creature so that hopefully at some point I am on the opposite side of it as the rest of the party.
Okay. All right. And then Martha, did you get my email?
I did.
All right, cool. So now it's the monster's turn. So first, the raging swirl is around Colmar's head. It seems actually, Martha, you get the sense that this thing is torn. It seems like there's a part of it that wants to leave, but a part of it really, really hates Colmar. And it ends up just staying with Colmar, and Colmar takes 1 vitality damage. And then the main body gets closer to the group. The part of the body that's still connected to the neck affecting Marthau, and actually begins to swirl into a violent tornado, which is now, in addition to the smoke, kicking up dust and debris and sending it flying in all directions as it gets closer. So everybody make a strength saving throw and dexterity saving throw.
Even me, I'm like 80 feet away.
You're fine.
I'm not sure exactly how far away I am, but probably.
Well, the monster has gotten closer to you guys, so you guys are within the range. You're only like maybe 20 feet away from Omerta, and only 10 feet away from everybody else.
Well, it's time for an action point there.
Strength saving throws are my specialty.
Jesus.
Would I be able to use danger sense for this, having advantage on saving throws against effects that I can see?
God damn it! Sorry, I froze for a minute there. No, yes, you can use danger sense.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, so anybody that rolled less than a 15 on dexterity takes 8, 10, 14 piercing damage. Half if you saved, Anybody that rolled less than 19 on their strength saving throw gets pulled 10 feet towards the smoke monster.
Boy. So the save on Dex is half of 15, so just 7 or 8.
Round down.
Okay.
Hey, at least nobody was thrown into a tree for 92 points of damage.
2 points of whiplash damage.
It's a very good question. What kind of damage was that?
But Brandon, it was 14 points damage, not 15. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
Doesn't matter if he saves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you take half of 7, so only 3.
Nice.
Since you are raging. All right. So that's the monster's turn. So those that ended up getting pulled 10 feet towards the smoke monster, this vortex, they are now within 5 feet of being enveloped in the vortex.
I think that was everybody but me.
So Omerta is a bit closer to the thing, anyways. We're a bit farther from the thing, anyways. But you didn't get pulled, so it doesn't matter. So you're actually a little bit farther. So Brendan got pulled in. Brendan, you get advantage on strength saving throws for rage.
Oh, sweet. I'll check if I get any higher than 17 though. Yeah, I don't. Don't worry.
All right. So Colmar, Marthau, and Petrie are all right in the vortex's base. Not quite in it yet, but about to be. Ivar is all the way towards the back of the monster. Omerta is about 20 feet away from the monster and 15 feet away from everybody else. Okay, did not forget anybody. Okay, so Omerta, you're up. Petrie on deck, Martha in the hole.
Not sure what all I can do here. So my full round of observations, did that yield any results for me?
It's a smoke monster.
Yeah.
And
People doing some things to it. I mean,
so things that you've noticed have been effective to a limited degree are Ivar's arrows, though you're not quite sure why. You noticed that Petrie's first strike had a pretty significant effect, but subsequent strikes by Petrie did not have that same effect. So it's hard to determine exactly what it was about that strike in particular that had some kind of impact.
mm-hmm.
You're not quite sure what Marthau did. And you're probably not quite sure what Colmar did either.
Except for the firebolt.
Yeah, except for the firebolt, which didn't have any kind of.
I know they did some spells, and I'm fairly adept at arcane knowledge, but
you know what? Let me see. Hold on. Let me check real quick. If these have somatic components, then
that's sort of the archetype that I went with for this guy was arcane.
Okay. Both have somatic components, but yeah, you can make a check to see. Actually, forget it. You don't need to make the check. So you know that Colmar attempted Phantasmal Killer and Detect Thoughts. You know that they attempted those spells, but you saw no outward effect from them, so you don't know if they actually took effect or had any impact outside of the behavior that you're seeing from the creature which doesn't suggest that any outward appearance of any of them being effective.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it seems to be really hitting a Colmar pretty hard. He almost seems like he's on the verge of death.
Oh, you could say that, yeah.
Good observation.
Colmar, how many more vitality points do you have?
Not enough.
Would a cure wounds cure that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna come up. It's a little bit, but it's vitality points, so that should be fine. I'm gonna come up and cast Cure Wounds on Colmar. Yeah, oh, fuck me, really? What the hell? You get a whopping 4, or sorry, 6. 1 plus 5. Yeah, that's a 6, not a 4.
6 what?
Hit points to your vitality points back. I rolled a 1, unfortunately. So you get what you get. Now, considering an action point here to do something, but I don't want to do it if it's going to not do anything helpful. Like, I know it seems to be doing something to him. This orb, it disappeared inside of him. What do I think would happen if I were to use an action point and cast invisibility on him?
On Colmar?
Do I think I could pull him away? It seems to really despise him. So if I pull him away, maybe get him to get this thing to be confused for a moment, at least.
So one thing that you did notice, on your turn of waiting, is that the smoke swirling around Colmar's face followed him as he moved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's.
So, I mean, it might be because it's just able to see him and react to his movements quickly enough. Or it may be something else, but that's something that you did notice in case you wanted to take that into consideration.
Yeah. So probably just sort of has a hold on him, and that's it. I don't have very much else I can really do here. I think that's action. I mean, I guess I can place one of my seals on him as a bonus action. Can I put one of my seals on it? I couldn't hit it with a magic missile, but
so because of the nature of your seals, I'm gonna say yes, but because it is inside Colmar for all intents and purposes, there's a possibility that residual energy of the seal could impact Colmar in some unpredicted way or unaccountable way.
Oh boy.
Whatever. I'll still put a seal on him, just in case. It doesn't do anything yet. So.
Right. No, I know.
All right. And then I'll back up again. I only had to move part of my movement there.
All right. So you know what? You moved 20 feet up towards them.
Yeah. Instead of the seal, I'm going to activate my boots. I don't know if I activated them last game or not.
I think you did.
Did I?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, well then I can still put the seal on and back way the fuck up. Because I got a 60-foot movement rate. 60-foot movement.
So you're going to go back 40 feet?
Yeah, I'm going to go back outside of that, whatever that effective range was. Of whatever that fucking tornado shit was.
Well, I don't know that you would be able to tell exactly what the effective range is. So you want to just back up 40 feet?
Can I get behind a tree?
Did
it yank on the trees and pull them?
No, there's a tree. You could get back behind a tree. You're in a wooded area. So there's a tree probably about 20 feet back. Do you want to get behind the tree?
It doesn't look. Does it look like it'll protect me from this fucking tornado?
It's a big old tree.
That's what I want.
Okay.
That's a nice boulder.
Okay. Anything else that you're doing, Omerta?
Just watching some more, I guess.
Okay. Petrie, you're up. Martha on deck. Colmar in the hole.
Okay. I'm just wondering, is everyone in 60 feet of me at this point in time?
I would not be.
Yeah, Ivar is the only one that wouldn't be.
Okay. I think I'll still do it. I'm gonna use Zealous Presence, so everyone who is in 60 feet of me gets advantage on attack rolls until next turn. Until my next turn.
Okay.
So you see me inside this tornado saying, the blessings of Tira will help, and then but you can't really hear it. But otherwise, like this light sort of like protrudes out of it, and you guys feel inspired. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, despite the terrible hacking and coughing, Martha still looks pretty good for his situation.
You just hear from a tree. Look at the little guy. Believe until the end.
And I'm just I'm just in the storm. I'm just gonna start like swinging like a madman towards it.
Okay, so you're gonna go into the maelstrom?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh.
That's the Petrie I knew.
Okay. So the minute that you enter it, it becomes extremely difficult terrain, and you need to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Advantage. Oh yeah, nat 20. I'll take that.
All right. So despite the extreme winds and the buffeting of the debris all around you, you maintain your presence and your footing. So go ahead and do your. Are you attacking recklessly or just normally?
I think I probably attack recklessly. Whatever. I'm in here now. It's probably already got advantage on me.
Okay.
That's the spirit.
Yeah. That's 24 on the first roll.
Okay.
And then a 23 on the second roll.
Okay. Roll the damage.
Okay. 3, 5, 10, 6. So 17 on the first hit, and oh my god, that's such a low roll.
Are you including your radiant damage on that first?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
How much radiant damage?
It was 1d6. It was like, it was 3 plus 6, so it was 9 radiant.
Okay.
And yeah, the second one was it was 6 damage, 6 slashing.
Okay. Once again, you notice that the smoke within this maelstrom seems to react to your first strike, but not your second. But now that you're in the maelstrom, not only are you in a place of very difficult terrain and high force winds, but you're also in the vicinity of this very toxic smoke and gas. So give me a Constitution saving throw.
I got a low roll, so I'm going to use my my fanatical focus to re-roll that.
Perfect.
Perfect. Uh-oh. And that's
Yes. Use it
yeah.
all now.
So that's 17 altogether.
Okay.
17.
So you take 5 vitality damage. Anything else?
That's it. I've used all my actions.
Okay. Martha, you are up. Colmar on deck. Ivar in the hole.
Well, Martha can't take any actions.
But you do have action
Bonus
points.
action. So I'm going to try to. I'm going to run as far away from the center of this thing as I can.
Yeah, Ivar, by the way, did leave the pressure vessel just sitting on the ground atop a little hill. So you do know that he was using it as like a breathing apparatus in the Mournlands. I don't know if that would help you or not, but it's just sitting there now.
Can I see that?
Yeah, you
Make
could
a
have when I
perception
was
check.
using it.
So I'm going to run over there. Now,
Make a perception check to see if you spotted it and that you left it.
It's a 17.
Okay, so yeah, you do see it. It's a bit farther from you than 30 feet.
How much is a bit farther?
So, because when Ivar first moved to use it, he moved himself 40 feet beyond. He moved himself basically 40 feet my orientation south of you guys. So it's at least 40 feet away.
Okay. Well, I'll head towards that.
Okay. So with the maelstrom, make a strength check. Strength saving throw.
Am I in the I'm not in the maelstrom yet.
No,
right?
but you're next to it.
I'm gonna action point re-roll that. That was the same roll. Well, let's take my lumps here. It's a 9.
Okay. So the first 10 feet of movement count as 20 feet. And then so you can get 20 feet away, 20 feet closer towards the canister.
Okay. Can I use an so if I cast lesser restoration on myself, would I be able to clear my coughing condition?
That's a strong possibility. But you're going to get another roll at the end of your turn to see if it's going to continue. And if you want, you can use an action point to take an action.
Well, yeah, I'm debating on whether I should take that action. Well, I'll give it a go. So I'll use an action point to cast lesser restoration on myself.
Okay.
Give myself a breather, pun intended.
So that roll a d4.
Four.
Okay, so you get 4 rounds where you won't be consumed with the coughing, but you still have to make the Constitution saving throws for the vitality damage that it's doing. So go ahead and roll Constitution saving throw.
It's a 23.
Okay. So you take 1 vitality point of damage.
Can I have that apply to my mantle of inspiration, or is it only vitality points?
No, temporary hit points are just hit points.
All right.
You didn't have just 1 or 2 vitality points left, did you?
No, I have a decent amount. I'm just makes me sad every time I have to. So that being said, I can see this canister.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my bonus action to invoke Belt of the Blinking Knight to teleport to it.
Okay.
Teleport away. Just go away.
Oh, Meritus is just like watching, observing, really.
In suspense. Oh my God, go run. Don't go upstairs. What are you doing?
Have you ever seen the movie Rubber?
No.
Yeah, it's an indie film about a killer tire.
Is that like Deathbed, the bed that eats people?
So many movies about mimics.
Probably lower quality. But the whole movie is like the premise of like this group of people watching this tire from afar. And they're like, oh my God, it's in the shower. Anyways, that's my turn.
I swear to God, if you... My cat is like tripping on the cord for my internet, and I'm like, I swear to God, if you fuck this up, you fucking cat.
Cat may be our only hope.
All
Quick,
right.
cut his internet and we'll beat this monster while he's gone.
Heroes
right.
come in all sizes.
All right, Colmar, you are up. I have our undeck monster in the hole.
Okay, so is this thing? So am I caught in its wind? Is it like Is it like pulling me closer to it?
Yeah, the vortex is. You're just outside of it right now, but it is trying to pull you closer in.
Okay, and I can't. If I want to take actions, I'm going to have to use an action point. Since I'm going to burn an action point, reach into my bag of Giant's Wrath, and just throw those rocks into the wind and see what the fuck happens.
See if it just hurls boulders at us all.
You have advantage on that as well.
Suddenly a boulder's flying at the tree I'm hiding behind.
Oh my God, this is awesome. Okay, so Colmar, you see him struggle to pull these pebbles, a handful of pebbles from his bag of Giant's Wrath, and he throws them into the vortex, causing them to swirl violently around. And as they swirl, they suddenly grow massive in size. And as they grow, they split off from the vortex. Omerta, Ivar, and Marthau, and Petrie. Everybody, give me dexterity saving throws.
I'm killed by my own boulders.
Yeah, we'll see if anybody is targeted.
Yeah, 19.
We're rolling what now? Dex saves?
Dex saves. You have advantage, Omerta, because you're behind the tree.
Oh, well, lucky me.
I had
That's only a
advantage as
fucking
well,
boulder.
right?
It hits the tree and knocks the tree over on top of you.
Yeah, you have
damage.
advantage, Petrie.
Oh yeah. Well,
If there's ever a dexterity saving throw that you wouldn't have advantage for, I would let you know.
okay, cool.
Otherwise, assume that you have advantage.
Gotcha.
27. Natural 20.
Damn.
Colmar, what's the DC for your
16.
Okay. All right. And then Ivar.
19.
Okay. So one boulder, because it's 4 of them, right, Colmar? Per the description of the item. The 4 boulders. For some reason, I have that in my head.
I don't know. It doesn't.
Oh, it's a 10-foot square, right?
Yeah.
Normally.
Striking in a radius 10 foot of the spot that you choose to throw the pebbles.
Right. So it's 4 boulders, each a 5-foot diameter boulder. So one of them launches right into the tree that Omerta is behind, and cracks it. But Omerta, you're able to get away from the tree before it is felled. And then Dustin, you see this boulder and it kind of grazes your shoulder, causing 6 hit point damage and knocking you prone. Brendan, you kind of matrixed past one of these boulders, probably the one that ended up hitting Martha. And Ivar, one just lands right at your feet. Wait, Colmar, what was yours?
17.
17. Okay.
Wow.
So how like opaque is the smoke monster?
It's pretty opaque. You might just think that it's now throwing boulders out of nowhere.
I prefer to think that that's what Ivar thinks. Not that we're arming the thing.
You should know better. That's exactly what we do.
I'm aware that he has a bag of giant boulders, though, so I'm suspicious.
And then Colmar, since you used a bonus or action point, you can take a bonus action if you had one.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't have one.
Okay. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Nope.
Oh God. Three vitality point damage.
All right.
Are you still kicking?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then your next round, you're gonna spend coughing and gagging again. Ivar is up. Monster on deck. Omerta in the hole.
Okay. So as a bonus action, I am going to, I forget what the feature's called. I'm going to use my Kensai shot, and I'm going to fire 2 arrows at the thing using sharpshooter. That's a 22 and a not natural 20.
Okay. So you, as you shoot it into the maelstrom, you notice that each arrow kind of once again leaves a slight ping in the form of it that kind of causes it to shudder a bit. But then also you notice that each of your arrows immediately exit in different directions and thwack into nearby trees.
At least they didn't whack into our allies.
Do you have anything else you're doing?
No.
All right. The monster is up, so it is going to move into Colmar's space because you're the only one next to it now, Colmar.
Well, I'm right in it.
And you are in it. You are in it, and it's going to. It's big enough that it can move into Colmar's space and keep you in it. And then nobody's close enough to feel the effects of the debris field or the strength pull. But both Colmar and Petrie give me, you guys give me strength saving throws and dexterity saving throws. Oh my god. Is that a natural one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Colmar dies again.
I'm thinking it's not a good sign that Mike didn't even ask me to roll damage.
Oh, boy.
Oh, you caught that, huh?
Oh, boy.
Okay, so Petrie, you saved. Colmar, roll a D100. Actually, no. Roll your dexterity saving throw again.
To confirm the failure?
Yes.
13.
Roll a D100.
There we go. 47.
The body horror table.
All right. Roll a D4.
That's how many body parts been ripped off. Like
Yeah.
one.
All right. So first of all, for Petrie, you take 6 damage. Actually, 3 damage because of your resistance from the debris. But you are lifted up into the air from the swirling vortex. Colmar, you're not only lifted into the air, but the debris causes you grave injury to one of your arms. So you take you are, even if you do save from the cloud enveloping your face, you are limited only to an action, bonus action, or move action on your turn. You can't take all your normal actions. And then additionally, you take 48 piercing damage.
Okay.
All
right.
And then Petrie and Colmar, both of you give me Constitution saving throws as well.
Oh, nice. That's a 20, not natural.
15.
Okay, that's at least good enough. So both of you take 3 vitality damage. Are you still kicking, Colmar?
Yep.
Okay. All right, that's the monster's turn. Omerta, you're up. Petrie on deck. Martha in the hole.
Oh man, I don't know. So I'm gonna have to do this like over and over again. Can I use a action point to prepare a spell that I don't have prepared,
Yes.
or to cast it once at least? I don't know.
Yeah. Additionally, Omerta and Ivar, there are many bodies littered in the area because you guys killed scores of people in the last session. You notice that each of them begins sprouting mushrooms, and also not just mushrooms, but like the spore pods.
Sure. I dart forward. So how enveloped is Colmar right now? Exactly.
The Colmar and Petrie are both within the maelstrom of the swirling vortex.
Like, how loud is that thing? Is it like tornado loud or just like dust devil loud?
Half tornado loud.
So it's sounds like a train, but really far away. Got it. I'm gonna yell out that I believe it is time for us to depart, and I'll hold my breath. I don't know how this thing works. It's what it did to us before, so I'm gonna hold my breath before running in, and then let me confirm the components of this spell. Or not a spell. All right. It is verbal, so I should get my breath in so that I can speak the words and not inhale anything. Yeah, I'm just yelling at everybody that we need to leave. And then I deep breath, go in, and I put a hand on Colmar's shoulder and then cast Dimension Door.
Well, Colmar is floating in the air right now, so you're going to have to make an acrobatics check to jump up and grab him. Actually, as you go into the maelstrom, you have to make a strength saving throw, a dexterity saving throw, and a constitution saving throw.
So holding the breath doesn't work?
I mean, it's doing something, just not everything that you thought it would.
So it's not an inhaled gas like it was previously?
Oh, some of it is, but not all of it. Okay. I mean, it definitely it hurts on contact as well.
Okay. Whatevs. All right. Which one am I rolling? Which one do you want me to roll first?
Let's do strength.
Strength save?
Yeah.
18.
Just enough. So you're not lifted into the air.
Okay, good. Dex. Oof. Jesus fucking Christ. Action point. I had to use 2 action points just to get another really shitty roll. 11. Can't use too many, or otherwise I'm not gonna have the action point I need to cast Dimension Door.
All right, you take 13 piercing damage. Constitution saving throw.
Fuck, dude. All right, well, I gotta use one more action point here. Or do I? I could take some vitality damage. Right? I mean, is it gonna fuck with... Yeah, what? I'll roll it. Jesus, it's the same fucking thing!
Can I like make the argument that because no one's used my fanatical thing, that he can maybe make another saving throw because I used an area thing and no one's used the advantage.
Is that just advantage for attack rolls?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh, actually, no. It says attack rolls and saving throws. I'm an idiot.
Perfect.
There you go.
So
I could have used that earlier as well.
Do you want to use that on your dexterity saving throw or your constitution saving throw?
My con save.
Okay.
I rolled 2 2s. And a 3.
Okay.
You take 4 vitality damage.
Just so we know, the total is an 8. What is it? Sorry, 4?
Yeah, 4 vitality damage.
All right.
And so, but you still have to jump up to reach Colmar, which, because you're in a maelstrom, even though you haven't been lifted up, probably is going to lift you up. But you can direct yourself to try and aim yourself at Colmar.
That gives me advantage, right? Because it's lifting me up?
It's lifting you up, but it's also spinning you about, so it's kind of a nil.
Natural 20.
All right.
Take that, fucker.
You go ahead and describe what it looks like as you jump up in this maelstrom towards
There's
Colmar.
lingering bits of the boulder, and I hop off of them. And then I go up and grab Colmar, and then speak out the words for a dimension door, and get the fuck out of there.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go the full 500 feet exactly, but I'll go like, roughly 90-ish, 100 feet.
You want to go over
We'll go
by
90 feet.
Ivar, maybe?
Ivar is what, like 80-ish feet?
Yeah, he's somewhere around
10
there.
feet behind him.
Okay. You're over by Ivar then. Colmar,
Is there more swirling around him still?
He still has the swirling around him. Yes.
Son of a fucker!
Choking him.
This gas really is persistent, isn't it?
All right. Is that all you have to do, Omerta?
Yeah, I guess.
7 saves and an acrobatics check. Got any more things?
I got no more action points. I know that much.
All right.
Fucking turd, they're all gone.
Petrie up, Martha are on deck, Colmar in the hole.
I would just be like riding the storm and just going, yeah, and attacking this thing while flying around.
You're just kind of like spinning and flying around, like, and you're just like,
whoa, yeah. All right, so I'll do some attack rolls. Okay, so that's a 23 on my first one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a little bit better. It's a +6. So that's a 25 on the second.
Okay. Both, I guess, hit. you're in a big tornado, trying to hit the tornado. So
yeah, we're doing it. So we've got
your first attack seems like it does something against the wall of one of the maelstrom, kind of burning with a silvery light. Second one doesn't really do anything.
Otherwise, yeah, I'm just gonna float around and see what happens to me.
Martha, you're up.
All right. So I'm gonna try to. So seeing that, I'm now at this vessel. So I'm gonna try to see if I can uncork the vessel and get a gust of wind.
All right. So Ivar, how does your vessel work?
It's not as simple as uncorking it. There are a series of like valves, and you've seen me like it's easy enough to breathe with the thing because there's like a little mask on that you just have to put on, and takes an action. But to actually use one of the effects that takes up its charges, it's more complicated than that. So complicated that Ivar couldn't remember it a few moments ago. So, I mean, there's a chance I would probably require some sort of check to see if you could work out how it works.
All right. Do you have proficiency with any tools?
No.
Okay. What about investigation?
I do not have proficiency in that. I have I'm proficient in intimidation, which is trying to figure things out.
Open up, you elemental freak! Get out of there!
You fucking thing. Inside.
You can do a straight intelligence check then.
That's not bad. It's 15.
Okay. You're able to open it up.
Okay, so now that I found it, and it's you know, I started twisting a bunch of knobs, and then I imagine it's just like this giant like jug, this mithril heavy jug with things on it, and then it starts like spraying out. So then I move it down so that it faces like in towards the creature.
Okay.
So it's just this long, strong wind that's 60 feet long and 10 feet wide in that direction.
Okay. Never mind. Ivar, when the thing is open for like the gust of wind effect, what does it look like typically?
There's a nozzle that points out about midway through the vessel off to the side of it. And essentially it looks like a Bunsen burner nozzle, but essentially all the wind pressure comes through that one nozzle and just begins to spray out. So you can adjust the direction of it as a bonus action, essentially just by turning the whole contraption to point the nozzle in a new direction.
And then how long does that gust go?
I believe a minute.
No. How far away?
Oh, let me see.
60 feet.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. So the maelstrom it gets blown 20 feet back. So Petrie is suddenly he suddenly falls to the ground, and is out of the maelstrom. But the maelstrom is at the edge of the range of the gusts. It's kind of sitting there.
Okay, so I was prone before, so I used half my movement to get up, and I did my action to that and bonus to do it. So I'm going to use the remaining 10 feet, and I'm going to like pick this thing up, and I'm going to like start walking towards the maelstrom with it.
Okay. So you're 10 feet, so you move it 10 feet back. Give me a Constitution saving throw because you still got a bunch of it swirling around your face.
Stick your face in the gust like a hose.
It's a 25.
Okay. So you take 3 vitality damage.
And then I'm actually gonna use an action point to move another 30 feet, and I'm just gonna like, now that like I'm feeling good, I'm just gonna like try to run this thing out of town.
All right. So you move it back 30 feet. So you are pretty much right near Petrie now. All right. So, as Martha begins running, pushing the maelstrom away, still encircled with his own head with this gas, this toxic gas, as well as Colmar continuing to choke on this toxic gas. Suddenly, a figure emerges from one of the nearby trees, and as you look at it, it seems to be a female figure, but her entire body is made of wood. And the minute that she emerges from the tree, she kind of looks over the scene, and her eyes kind of become steely with the resolve, and you can see her face up towards the spinning maelstrom, and she begins calling out in a strange language that none of you recognize or have ever heard anything quite like it. And as that happens, the maelstrom begins to subside, taking shape once again, and then actually pulling the gas from Marthau and returning to the main body. And it kind of shapens back into a misshapen, humanish form that's continuing to be buffeted by the wind that is spewing from the contraption that Martha was holding. And it seems to reply in the same language that this wood creature is spewing. And Martha, your detect thoughts is still active. So you get the sense that this thing is basically cursing at the wooded figure, and making threats, saying things along the lines of, or it's at least thinking things along the lines of, everything will be cleansed. It's just a matter of time. And then with that, the tree creature runs to it seems to look for a specific tree in the area, and it runs up to it, and the maelstrom goes to try and intercept. But before it can intercept her, she touches this tree, and a glowing glyph erupts from the bark, and there's a shockwave that emits from the tree, instantly burning out all of this toxic gas, including the bit that's swirling around Colmar, as well as all of the mushrooms and the spores burning away.
The mushrooms and the spores
From the bodies.
Oh, okay.
and then she kind of looks back and surveys what has happened, or the bodies, and seeing you, and she begins to slowly approach the group, with her hands out, but everybody give me an insight check.
Zero.
20, not natural.
All right. Dustin, I'm going to send you a quick note.
Back beast. Not only was it a natural 1, I got a -1.
Now I'm wondering what an insight of 0 means. She's got a gun.
I'm assuming it's basically like a dryad, right?
I doubt that any of you would have seen a dryad, but you guys can go ahead and give me a nature check if you're proficient.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, nice. I got a 21. I'm getting flashbacks from being in the forest.
I'm just trying to know what I'm looking at.
King Gerald. King Gerald.
King Gerald! King Gerald!
Gnomes are from Thalanis. There must have some stories of dryads.
Oh, I went there.
Yeah, I'll let you do.
Untrained nature check.
Yeah.
7.
All right, Brennan, sent you email. You are very positive of this information.
Better not be that evil queen. Oh. Oh, by the way, guys, it's definitely not a dryad. It's got to be that magical tree we've been wanting to talk to. Do you have
Olean?
that? Yeah, do you have some wood that we can take from you?
It will defend itself. It's coming in peace to us, but it will kill us if we try to attack it, or at least try to defend itself.
Just because it has open hands does not mean it's coming for peace.
It doesn't look like it's aggressive.
Where I come from, that means they're coming because they are aggressive.
What do non-aggressors look like when they're coming towards you in your culture?
Non-aggression is not a word where I come from.
Oh, then you have nothing to worry about.
So she begins to approach, and as she does, she kind of looks around and says, "Are you with the children of winter?" And she says this in common.
I'm pretty sure we're not, as I don't know who the children of winter are.
Yes, who are these children?
Are they the dwarf people we walked past before?
Do I look like a child?
It looked like
Oh.
winter on the mountain.
By the way, because this came up in last session, somebody failed a Constitution saving throw during the previous attack, previous to the smoke monster. I don't
Wasn't me.
remember who it was,
Oh,
but at least
shit.
one person did. I have a feeling it might be Petrie.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
It was either Petrie or Martha. We were the three that were in the cloud before.
I failed. I got my first one. I failed my second one, and that's when I got like afflicted.
Okay, so anybody that had been afflicted, when this creature activated the rune on the tree, and that shockwave blasted away from it, anybody that was previously had failed their Constitution saving throw and been possibly afflicted by what these creatures, these raving monster people, you feel immense pain deep within your insides as well as in your head, like a conflagration just erupting throughout your body. But it passes after a moment. But it is strong enough to double you over or even bring you to your knees momentarily.
So Martha all looks like do the Aragorn thing. Like, ah!
See, hostile.
Did you kick one of Colmar's boulders as well?
Breaking your foot as you do it.
So I think, Petrie, that was also you that was afflicted as well. So I think you probably feel the same pain.
Oh, so much pain.
Colmar sounds more constipated than in pain.
Petrie.
Yeah, Petrie. Sorry.
Why didn't we bring that clay dude with us from the house? I need to do a poo.
Okay, moving on. So after she asks you if you're the with the children of winter, and basically draw blank stares from you, she says, "I'm glad that the magic was able to restore you. If it had been any longer, then even that would not have saved you from the affliction."
What is this affliction?
We're cured now?
Yes. You don't have anything to worry from it for the moment. Unless it's changed and become resistant to the magic of the warded trees. But who are you? You are strangers to this place, clearly.
Yeah, we're looking for a talking tree. It's going to give us some wood so we can fix a spear.
What the fuck are we doing here again? Why did we come here?
We need something to attach to some spear to kill the Delkir.
So as Petrie mentions a talking tree, massive 6-inch long thorns begin sprouting from all over this creature's wooden hide. And you see her take up an attacking position, and she says, "What do you know of Olean?"
We mean no harm here, but we just came because we found that there's an invasion of Dalkir that's coming to this continent, and we have I forget the name of the spearhead, if there was a name for it, but we have a magical spearhead that Olean once provided the shaft for in the last time the Dalkir invaded. And we were hoping to fix the spear so that when the invasion comes, we're able to fight them off, prevent them from overrunning the continent.
You know of the Dalkir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Should
can
have
see-
released one.
We have seen it.
You can see her actually kind of take a breath of relief, and the thorns retract back within her body, just making the hide of the tree bark completely smooth once again, smooth as tree bark can get. And she says, "So, the civilized places, they're aware of the Dalkir and they are sending help."
Not everyone is aware of the Dalkir. A lot of people don't really think that they're much of a threat at this point, but they have been making more appearances. So I think the threat will become apparent. Is the affliction here somehow related to that?
Yes, but this is not a safe place to talk.
You don't say.
If you truly have some kind of spear, might I examine it?
Sure. Well, wait, what's your name first?
I am Martha Vigilleaf.
And what is your position in relationship to Olean?
I am one of the guardians, one of the wardens of the wood.
I'm
How many
Petrie
wardens?
Silverleaf.
What are they?
I'm sorry?
How many wardens of the wood are there?
Not enough.
Your friend speaks true. We are losing this battle. We fear without assistance, it is going to be only a matter of time before we succumb to the forces of the Dalkir and the foolish children of winter.
Who are the children of winter?
I will get into that, but as I said, there is not much time. Please show me the spear.
Oh, so I'm Petrie Silverleaf. Are we related?
She ignores you.
Oh,
I don't remember who had the spear.
Did we not bring the spear with us?
Can you come back tomorrow?
I am sure I never had the spearhead because I didn't know what it was when it first came up.
yeah. I would have thought it was. It would have been important enough to bring. I would have brought it, knowing that we were going to rebuild it here.
But the question is, would anybody trust you with it?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Was it in Elmorn's possession?
Oh, yeah. That
We've
sounds
got to
about
go.
right.
Now we've got to go find Elmorn.
Actually,
Side quest 2, the quest for Elmorn.
Elmorn steps out from behind Colmar, emerging from Mallet space, provides the bits of spear, and then steps back into Mallet space.
It's not even.
retcon portal again.
What's that?
Not even. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was making a joke. Don't worry. It's old now.
It's like, who was that guy?
So she examines the fragments that you have of the broken shaft and the spearhead, and she says, "Wow, this truly is a piece of Olean." You speak the truth. Come, there's not much time. And she returns the pieces of the spear, and she walks to the nearest tree, and she touches it, and she says, "Walk through this tree."
Is there smoke around it?
No, no smoke. She touches it and doesn't seem to change at all.
Martha, being of the Fey persuasion, just says, "All right, whatever you say," and he'll just walk right into it.
Okay. Martha disappears, enveloped by the tree, and is seen no more by anybody in the group.
Ever again. Fine. I walk forward.
Okay. Now Ivar disappears.
I'd be like trying to make conversation with the definitely not dryad, and be saying like, "Have you ever been to Thalanis? There was a king there, you know." And then I just walk through the portal.
Just before you walk through, she stops touching the tree, and you hit your head.
Oh, I need to poo again.
Oh.
and then
Tony went through the tree.
Yeah. And then she touches the tree again and pushes you through.
Okay. Yep.
Colmar.
Well, I definitely don't want to hang out here. So I collect my little friend and we go through.
Okay. Little friend?
My will-o'-the-wisp.
Ah, okay. All right. So you guys emerge into a village, but it's unlike any village that you've ever seen. Many of the dwellings seem to be above ground, above the in the trees and the canopy. You see people moving about through rope bridges and other kind of contraptions. It looks like there are some dwellings on the ground as well, but there's not as many, and everything is made from nature. You can't see any actual boards that have been cut or anything that has been hammered together with nails or any kind of anything else. It's almost as if the community and the village have grown together, and nature has actually provided for all of the structures and dwellings that are needed. And then in the center of this place, there is a clearing, and in the middle of the clearing is a massive tree. And as you guys, after everybody steps through, Martha then steps through again, and the bark and wood recede, revealing an elven face. At that point, the spellcasters among you might recognize that she may have been under the effect of something like bark skin.
Ah, this is a much prettier face. I'm Martha the Handsome, at your service.
You can't just say that. She was gorgeous both ways.
Are you really trying to hit on me in a time of war?
If we're gonna die tomorrow,
All's fair in love and war.
Don't worry, you get used to it.
but anyways, I just thought I would try to make you smile.
There is only one thing that could bring a smile to my face right now, and that would be ending the threat that we are facing. So what do you know of the Delkir and its plans?
Its plans still elude us. However, we did encounter the Dalkir when it first brought into this world.
You encountered it.
Yes.
You survived. How?
That's a good question.
It wasn't a maelstrom.
How did we survive, Petrie?
Well, it only stole one of our friends. It wasn't really interested in us. It sort of just like warned us, and then it went away.
Yes. It was pinned in the ground by this spear, which was turned into a large tree.
There's also some hobgoblins doing something with it.
Wait, are you saying that you released the Delkir?
Well,
We didn't. There were some hobgoblins that were helping to aid the release of the Dalkir. And we happened to be present at the releasing when trying to stop them.
I'm pretty sure our friend did release him.
I think his name was Seamus.
Yeah, damn that Seamus guy.
You have no idea what horror you have brought into this world if you truly did release the Delkir.
Yeah, we're meant to meet with Mordain and talk about the Dalkir, but he seems busy, and we're busy as well.
I'm not familiar with this Mordain.
Well, you're missing out. He's a flesh weaver or something.
Did your friend hit his head?
Yeah, on the tree. What does he do that for?
You were speaking and acting strangely well before I hit your head.
Oh, unfortunately, that's in his very nature. But alas, for the task at hand, we have this broken spear, which is the spear of Olean, or wrought from Olean, and it needs to be repaired so that we can take care of the Dalkir once and for all. At least
seal them again.
To some other hobgoblin decides to release them.
Yeah. Maybe we need more than one spear. There could be more than one Dalkir.
Unless there's a better way to kill these things. But
we do not know how to kill it. This is the first weapon that we've ever known of that might actually provide any kind of hope for this conflict. Few have seen the Delkir, at least among our people, and those that have either gone mad or been killed outright, if not worse. The thing seems to be spreading some kind of sickness or plague that changes people's body and mind. Somehow, unfortunately, it seems to have aligned itself with our brethren, the children of winter.
Body and
Have
mind, you
you-
say?
Hmm.
Count us in.
Have you tried explaining things to these children of winter?
It's not so simple. For the children of winter, they see themselves as the champions of life. They believe that all natural things have a purpose, even those things that seem malevolent. And death clears the way for new life in their eyes. They use disease to weed out the weak, and they work to preserve the cycle of death, believing that it will pave the way for new life. They believe that Corvair and this land has been cursed with civilization, and they've been only emboldened by the tearing of the world in the middle of Corvair. I believe you call it Sire. And the Mournland. Since that event, they have truly become more zealous in finding ways to speed up the process by which this world might be cleansed so that, in their eyes, the world can be saved.
So do you know about that giant egg from the Mournlands, which were people being sacrificed to?
I am not familiar with any such thing.
Yeah.
Just a theory.
Yeah. Are the people of winter like you, or are they like made of metal?
Please don't say they're shadows.
No. They're people. They like the Wardens of the Wood. They have studied in our ancient druidic traditions, and they've just taken a very extremist and nihilistic point of view. Anyways, the Delkir, its weapon of choice that it seems to have utilized is the creation of this plague, this disease that spreads, and those infected change. As I said, they become feral, unable to exist in any way except through anger and destruction, and eventually they just seek out others to spread the infection. And because of this, the children of winter believe that the Delkir is an emissary sent from Eberron itself, the world, to begin the cleansing process.
So when she's talking about Delkir, is she talking about one or many?
As far as you can tell, she's only talking about one.
It is an effective tactic, I will say.
Well, I would know about cleansing, and I know it's a hard job, so it's going to take them a while because we haven't even killed all the lichens yet.
She looks at you with eyes that just want to cause you to burst into flames right now.
Petrie bursts into flames. It happens. You're dead.
Yeah.
Spontaneous combustion.
Since you've been trying to fight this infection or whatever it is, do you have any idea where the Dalkir might be found? So that if we get the spear, maybe we can go and just attack it.
We have ideas. It is believed that the Delkir is looking to spread this sickness all across the world. Unfortunately, to do that, it likely is trying to gain access to our most sacred grove. Only Olean knows where it is and how to access it. And so we have been besieged by these creatures that have turned, and the sickness and weapons that the Delkir brings to bear against us. We have been able to hold them back for now because in the original traditions of the Druids, we learned our craft as a means to fight these very creatures that have this Delkir that has infected our world. There, across this land, are many warded trees specifically made to be able to prevent them from accessing this world, or can have the power to burn these creatures that have been touched by the Delkir.
I think your cat has the disease and has gone feral.
Yeah, she's pretty crazy right now. Unfortunately, because these trees are so ancient.
Can't you see this is a dramatic moment in the story?
Oh, it's always inevitable.
Yeah.
My 2-year-old is always running up to me right in the middle of a dramatic thing. I want milk. God damn it, kid, stop it.
As I was saying, these warded trees, unfortunately, have not been kept as well as we would like over the thousands of years since their creation. Many have withered into decay, others have been destroyed. Those around this village are active, and they have helped to hold back the threat of the Delkir and its plague, and additional protections have been enacted by the druids that inhabit this village, as well as Olean himself. But it is only a matter of time.
You know anything that reverses the plague?
Nothing that we've seen so far. If a person is infected and is caught within an hour or so of the infection, the magic of the original wards is strong enough to cure the illness and prevent it from manifesting fully. After that, though, the illness takes root too deeply within the person's very essence, and so magic and the druidic traditions of curative arts are unable to impact the progression of the disease.
Does it kill them at least?
At first it seemed much more of a normal plague or disease. It spread through contact or through close proximity. It left those infected weary and becoming more and more sick until they would pass, usually within a week of the infection. But over time, the infection has grown worse, impacting the mind, causing irrational thoughts and rages, behaviors of trying to actively spread bodily fluids into the eyes and ears and mouth of victims to actively take part in the spread of the plague. But recently, the change has become more dramatic. These people begin to undergo a metamorphosis of sorts into creatures that are unlike any that we have ever seen.
Like the smoke monster or something else?
No, that smoke monster was one of the children of winter. As I mentioned, they firmly believe that life is a part, or death is a part of life, and embrace it.
So the children of winter are smoked.
It seems that you killed the druid that had summoned that smoke while it was using its druidic magics to conjure that toxic gas. Upon their death, it channeled the very last bits of their essence into the spell. When children of winter are faced with death, they go forward fully into the oblivion of it, accepting it, embracing it, and using it to empower their last act and will, making them very, very deadly threats to face in Mortal Kombat. Dun 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 dun. Mortal
Well,
Kombat!
I realized that we probably seemed like a bunch of random gnip-gnops wandering into the forest without any preparation, and we did come here unprepared to face creatures like the smoke monster, but we are actually pretty good at what we do, so if we can get Olean to help us repair the spear, and we can use it to either re-imprison or possibly destroy or drive out the Dalkir, maybe that will help to reverse, or at least give you a chance of reversing the illness sweeping through the forest.
Yes, and I will certainly bring it to the council's attention. I truly believe you, I do, but it is not my choice whether or not you can gain audience with Olean himself. The spear provides evidence of the things that you seek to do and of your word, but still it's something that in these times of danger we cannot risk even the smallest chance that there may be ill intent or an infiltrator that has made their way into this place.
Well, presumably Olean will recognize the spear since he's seen it before. I would say I think we are the obvious choice to wield it in defense of the world, but if you know someone better placed, it is at least a new hope for your people to consider.
As I said, the spear does bring hope, and I will work diligently to speak on your behalf with the council and to Olean, but
Can we not speak to this council ourselves?
not yet. I will need a little bit of time to speak with them.
I doubt there's
Do make
any-
haste.
So do the children of winter have a particular disdain for necromancy?
It is the most blasphemous arts that one can practice.
Yeah,
They
coma.
are, as I said, they are zealous in their belief that there is the circle of life and death, and anything that would break that cycle or unnaturally extend one's life.
The children of winter.
It's a smoke monster. Ah!
Blowing around that chair.
So yes, they abhor necromancy and everything about it.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it, Colma? That's bad.
Yeah, bad for. Well, I don't know. I mean, they'll just come after me.
Wait. Do you mean to say that you are a practitioner of these arts?
Of course I am.
But he's a good necromancer. He only brings things back if they want to be brought back.
Yeah, like that bullet. Now I can suffer forever, that damn thing.
So, I would caution being so flippant about spreading this information about yourself. While you do bear the staff made from Olean's wood, if the council
Hold it together, man.
Yeah, nearly there. Nearly there.
Signing off.
So, moving on, if the council were to become aware of the unnatural magic that you wield, they may be less inclined to provide you the aid that you seek and allow you to act as an ally.
So you have this incursion of the children of winter who are spreading this plague, which you cannot fix, and you are on your last legs defending this grove, but yet my practice of necromancy apparently is a problem.
Yes.
Oh,
It
okay.
is.
That makes sense.
It is an unnatural magic, and it is one that corrupts those that wield it. If you indeed are a practitioner of necromancy, there are those on the council that would see you just as much as a threat as those that we are besieged by, with the children of winter, the plague, and the Delcure.
What I find curious is how did the smoky druid on the other side of that tree know that you were one right away as soon as he saw you? Wonder if there's some sort of metaphysical oversight. Or if you just exude it to them. Do they know?
How do you mean?
Well, they just attacked him as soon as he appeared.
Oh. Well, it's hard to say exactly how they may have known if they did not see him practicing in his art, but that smoke monster that possessed the druid's essence after it had died may have been given some sight or ability to see the corruption of your magic, or sense that there was something unnatural about you and your presence.
Like the will-o'-the-wisp that you have flying around you.
I would also recommend that you hide that creature.
It's rather funny. I mean, usually people are set back by my appearance, but he's just a little guy. He's a fine young cannibal. I mean, I'm sure he's not a cannibal.
Call a new age diet.
Wow, so I thought Father Stenson was like conservative. These guys, oh, They hate everything.
Well, unfortunately, we're in their house, so we'll have to be nice. Not just be nice, but we'll need to respect their rules.
Also, just
Yes,
saying,
there
it
is.
wouldn't-
This is a time of fear. Paranoia is a seed that grows quickly within these conditions. So it would be best as outsiders that you try to bring as little attention to yourselves as possible.
We will do so.
Which is why it is important that first we seek the permission of the council.
Wow. I'm just saying, there wouldn't be any waiting time if we went and saw Mordain. We would see him immediately. There'd be no waiting. Be like, hey guys, come on in.
You know, you can go see Mordain,
All right,
and
we'll go after this. All right,
let me know how that goes.
we'll go right after this.
So
Right
I think
after we wait here.
I think we need to discuss our plan of action outside of Martha here.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
This Martha is just gonna take her time.
are you saying this
I
right in
think
front of
I think
Martha?
Yeah,
I think
I
we're
am.
happy to wait for the council's decision, but you've obviously annoyed my two friends here by not accepting them fully in accordance with the terms of your religion. The rest of us, though, will probably we're happy to wait.
Yeah. Your
As I
religion-
said,
I'm
I
sure
am.
some of us could use a little bit of rest.
Yes, that might
and
contribute to the grumpiness.
and make no mistake, while I abhor the arts of necromancy, and if you are a practitioner, I have a deep disgust for you. However, in these times of desperation, I am less conservative in turning to tools that might provide us with what we need to save ourselves. Others, especially those on the council, may not be as open to the idea. But in the meantime, I can certainly show you to a place where you can rest. Do you have any other questions or any other needs that you might need to have attended to while you await the council?
Yeah, we'll just
No,
go
I
to
think
our,
we're good.
yeah, let's go to our waiting room. All right. What's the waiting time like?
I will get word to them as soon as I can. Hopefully by sometime this evening, we can have an answer.
Great.
Goodbye, Martha.
Alright, so she shows you to a dwelling that's on the ground, so you don't need to climb up into the trees or anything. It is reasonably comfortable, and has enough space for everybody. There are bedrolls there, as well as what appear to be trees that have been purposely shaped into chairs.
Wow.
So, and also, tables and things like that. Everything looks to be like it was purposely shaped by nature to provide for the dwelling.
Still not as good as Elmwood Shelter.
Yeah. Also, who wants to make bets that this primitive religion does sacrifices? Me. I bet a I haven't got any gold on me, but I bet something from my room. Probably a doll. You guys like dolls?
Are you having a seizure? What are you even talking about at this point?
These elves are probably going to want some sort of sacrifice, It's probably what they do.
So, another thing to mention, the makeup of the people that you've seen, it's not just elves. There are humans, there are shifters,
Ew.
some half elves. That is the majority of what the people consist of.
Right now, the way I see it, we need to get a shaft made from Olean for this spearhead, and possibly some help fitting it to the spearhead, as I don't know if it's going to be as simple as just banging on it with a hammer. But once we get that, we can do what we want. We just have to not insult their beliefs until then, and we'll be fine. And we can move on. We can go see Mordain or whatever else it is we want to do. But they also may have ideas on how to find the Dalkir, so maybe we should consider trying to get that information out of them.
So as I avoid the chair and just sit on the ground and check on my fucked up hand from the battle, as like the bones are sticking out and I'm just trying to push them back in. I don't see how I can be any of assistance with this council, because if I go in there, they're going to detect that I probably am a necromancer, and that will just put this whole thing in jeopardy. And the Children of Winter will target me because they know that I practice necromancy. So I'm just putting the group in danger at this point.
Sounds like you could take some time to relax.
We won't be here for long.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter how long we're here. We have to get by the council. And the council, they are too short-sighted. They don't see what's happening. They'd rather be concerned about what other people are or are not. Well, and if we need the spear, then we have to put the best foot forward, and I am not part of that.
Well, it seemed to me that Martha wasn't sure how to tell that you were a necromancer. As long as you keep the obvious undead creatures hidden and don't mention it. Now, it's true that the Children of Winter apparently can tell that you're a necromancer and they can target you immediately, but I don't know that that puts us in any more danger. It just means that they'll kill you before they come after me.
Well, you saw how ineffective I was against them, and that just jeopardizes everyone, because then they have to come and assist me, and I become a problem, a liability, as you speak.
I believe everybody was ineffective against a puff of fucking wind.
Yeah, and in the end, we're not necessarily going after the smoke monster. We're going after the Dalkir.
Yeah, all we need to know is where this tree is, and we can take the stupid branch ourselves.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that simple.
I wonder where this Olean is. I wonder if it's that big tree in the middle of town.
I got the impression that tree was not here.
Yeah, and by the way, just to be aware, probably every tree in this place is like eavesdropping on us.
Yeah. Let them eavesdrop. That's fine. The last time I checked, trees were not immune to fire.
Or axes. Or hugs.
Is there anything that you guys want to be doing in the meantime while you're waiting for the council?
Resting.
Just sulking.
Yeah,
Um,
just be resting.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so short rest or long rest? Because it sounds like the council may be able to make a decision within a couple hours.
Well, I mean, start with a short and see what we can get.
All right, so does anybody want to spend hit dice? You can spend hit dice for hit points or vitality points.
Yeah, I'll spend some hit dice.
I'm gonna spend 3 hit dice. Or
Same.
just 2 hit dice.
I'm down 73 hit points, so
Ow. I didn't realize you were down that much.
yeah.
Colmar, how many vitality points did you have by the end of that battle?
Let's see. 9.
Oh. One bad roll away from death.
Yeah. Is there any way to get back to the Handsome Mansion?
If we can get some Dawn's light.
Yeah, you'd have to wait till dawn. All right, so you guys are resting. Actually, do you mind if we use that as a chance to take a break?
Sure.
I mean, it's 11:30, so
What do you mean by dawn? What's Dawn's light?
The light of the sun from at dawn is what recharges the gem that takes us back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you guys couldn't use it in Zalshak's lair, because you didn't have access to the light of dawn.
and I didn't have the spell yet.
Okay, but by Tony's suggestions, you guys want to call it here?
Yeah, it's fine. It's just starting to fade.
Okay.
Cool.
What did everybody think about the session?
Never thought of how to kill smoke before.
Right.
Yeah.
I figured
How do you attack
out
the wind?
Yeah, I figured out that I don't have anything to attack smoke with. I could throw more smoke into it, or fire, which it's partly made of, or acid, or arrows.
I had Thunderwave, but I didn't prepare it. So
Yeah.
So you can in the future, because I think Tony asked about this too. If you want to spend an action point, you can use a spell that you've not prepared. So just for future reference. But did anybody have any critiques or feedback or anything that they might have done differently with tonight's session?
No, I think I'm happy that I know how to play Barbarian now, and that I get advantage on every roll, which is sick. And yeah, I think I play Petrie how he should be played, minus being a little bit more level. I think he sort of old Petrie came back up when he shouldn't have. It's too hard not to do it.
Well, you're restrained in the ways that are important to be restrained right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna kill any innocents yet.
Can we remove the yet?
I'm fading, guys.
Well, I mean, I figured I was specifically thinking that if it had been Hellweir, there would already be a dead elf.
You talking about a war? This is heaven for him.
So instead, there might be a dead elf later.
All right. So, additionally, if you guys want to send me any emails about what you'd like to do in a few hours until they call you for the council decision, you're welcome to
Well,
do
I
that.
do. Ivar is definitely going to want to. I mean, they walked us down here, presumably, so he's going to want to walk back up and try to find like the highest spot to pee off of. He's never peed off of a
Obviously.
tree city before.
Obviously.
I think Coleman made some good points about why is he here. I'm not sure what he's going to do about that, but it made sense.
I know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
What's amusing is Omerta 100% has a fix for it, but he's not going to do it. He has a amulet of proof against detection and location, which would it makes you immune to divination magics and stuff. So like they wouldn't be able to tell what you were, but that would mean that he would have to give it up, and he's unfortunately not going to do that. You're still new allies to him. Maybe if he liked you a little bit more, he would consider it.
All right. So next week we're on Kurt's game, so we'll be back in 2 weeks.
All right. Talk to you later.
Oh, yeah,
Hey, guys.
Oh, yeah, shit.
All right.
Take
Right
care,
on.
everyone.
See you Friday.